What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify, and as well as Instagram, TikTok, and X. It could be followed too. It is Tuesday. I hope everyone enjoyed the remainder of their weekend. I hope everyone enjoyed World Cup qualifications. If you are a fan of the Portuguese team, you must be ecstatic for them clinching and getting through with that 9-1 victory over Armenia on Sunday. Yes, no Ronaldo, obviously suspended due to the red card that he got. But in the end, I am thrilled that they were able to get through. A lot better than the last time that they had to go through World Cup qualifications, but they made it. They're through. So very ecstatic about that. We do have a few things going on this week. Premier League is back. Most of the players should be back today. I know Dorgu should be delayed because he had his match today against Scotland. But Bruno, Deloge should be back. De Ligt should be back. Mazraoui, Cunha, they should all be back as well. And Mbeumo should all be back too. So looking forward to seeing them. We do have Champions League going on tomorrow for the women's squad against Wolfsburg. We'll be discussing that. They're just still coming off of their 3-0 loss to Man City in the derby. And then catching up on transfers. So a lot of things have been speeding up about the transfers. Kind of just been moving away from not just you're looking at, Baliba and other stuff. Semeneo, who was in discussions last year or even the summer transfer window to being signed. And the debate was, since going on from March, was Mbeumo, Cunha, Semeneo being one of those, two of those three joining the club. And we have Cunha and Mbeumo. Could we be getting the third? And there's talks of him joining in January, or talks of them trying to go after him in January, whether they can afford it with the release clause. There is one thing going on here. João Gomez as a potential target as well. Elliot Anderson's still there too, but I know United are trying to they have to get the midfield going, and they're definitely looking at costs as well. So where should I kick off first? Let's kick off with the Women's Champions League tomorrow. That's the priority a little bit, because listen, they've been playing well in Champions League. They had a great match last week against PSG. Faltered a little bit in Prem, back-to-back in the Super League, back-to-back losses. So it's hard to say how the game is going to go. But listen, we're hoping that they rebound again. That's the main thing here. The one thing too is I gotta double check, because I'm just looking at the preview for tomorrow, because again they are playing tomorrow. The one thing will be about depth, and that's the one thing we have to look at. Patel will be in net. Toulouse Joyce has a fractured eye socket. There was a rumor that she could be back tomorrow. I don't think that's likely happening. She could be out for at least a couple weeks, because again, you don't want to risk the injury, or especially getting hit there. You don't want to risk them getting hurt, especially with her playing keeper, and we can't afford to lose them. So I'm just double checking. One thing too is just double checking Dominique Janssen as well. Just want to make sure she's going to be back tomorrow, because she was away last game because of the red card that she got in the game against Atletico. So I'm just double checking everything Yeah, she only should have had a 1-game ban. Just double checking this for a second. Just looking at the news from last week. Janssen, who trained. So just double checking here. Because I just want to check Dominic Janssen for a moment. Yeah, she did the press conference, so that looks like she should be there tomorrow. I don't know why I'm looking at some predicted. Well, but no. Okay, back to focus here. So I believe Janssen should be. She did play on the weekend. Will she get a consistent start? I would hope so. She should be there. Obviously, you want to keep it similar to PSG, and I know some players played on the weekend. So Toon should be coming off the bench potentially. Turlin, who started, they're probably going to go with Mallard. So again, from what I'm seeing here, what I would expect is something similar to last week. So George instead of Janssen. Obviously, Patel is there due to Phelan being out. Sandberg is still there. Riviere is still there. Mizuzawa, Park, Uejo, and then Olme. So you're going to look at pretty much the same squad as similar to what they did against PSG last week with players coming back. Janssen could start. I don't see why they couldn't. But you do have an extra depth piece there, especially on the back four. So let me just take a look here. Last game they lost. Wolfsburg. So let's just take a look at the table here. Where does Wolfsburg? Okay, so Wolfsburg is sitting in 6th. They lost their last match. Obviously, United went in their 3 in a row. So it could be a challenge. I can't say we're gonna cakewalk this game tomorrow. It could be a challenge tomorrow. It could be difficult for us tomorrow. That's the one thing, and we are on the road trying to play. So that's the one thing. It's hard, especially when you get that win last week at Old Trafford. Now you're going off on the road to try and take one. So, do I expect a win? I am always going to go for the win. Will it be a difficult one? Yes, because again, we're away. The weather is going to be raining from what I'm seeing here. But it is tough to win on the road, especially when you just went on the road on the weekend to City. Well, City is, but you were away against City. Again, different atmosphere. It's not your home turf, and you fall. Then you're coming here again. You're going out on the road again, traveling farther to a place where it can be difficult. So expect the physicality to be there. Expect the pressure. When I say pressure, I mean like the pressing. Sorry, I should have said pressing, not pressure. The pressing from the other team. Again, when PSG attacked early last week, they're definitely being more physical, using the press more, especially on our defenders. So, expect it to be a good match. It is an earlier one, so that's the usual time, 12:45 here. But they're going to have their work cut out for them tomorrow, to say the least. That's what I believe. So, again, the lineup will be the same. Like I said, similar to PSG from what I believe. The question of whether it is Dominic Janssen will start, that is the question. Because again, if they are fully good to go, because you just started at City on Saturday, you can have them back. But if it's Skinner, and this is the last game too, they're off for 2 weeks, so they have to rebound after Saturday. And I know PSG was a big rebound after losing to Villa, especially this one when I don't want to say the word dominated, but you struggled against the best team in the league, and it was like a lot of people had hopes going into it, but the struggle was there. So it's hard to say what tomorrow will bring. But I am hoping for the win, and I'm hoping for, movement of the ball, passing through the middle, containing the middle for us, using the outside like they have, definitely using your backs, your left back or your right back, carrying up the ball, making the right passes, using your speed, using your physicality, getting the balls to the striker, being clear. The one thing I like to say is one thing they have to be way better as is control. Because last Saturday, the passes, just things were not going right. They couldn't move the ball. They couldn't get things going on the attack, and too many poor plays, and that can carry over into tomorrow too. So listen, it's important that we get another win. It helps us in the table. But they have to be able to defend, move the ball in that attack. Again, consistency, discipline, finish. That's what I would like to see for tomorrow's game as well. So, but yes, tune into the game. I will. I know I always say it. It is. But what was I going to say? I will be trying to get an episode out late tomorrow. It might be difficult because it's going to be out later. It's going to be out around this time, like I'm always doing my podcast. Just give me one. Sorry about that, guys. My throat was getting a little dry. But yes, it's. Man, I lost my thought now. My voice getting dry, my throat, lost it. But yes, they have a lot of work cutting out for them, and again, like I said, consistency, discipline, finish, and then we have to carry over from. We can't carry over from Saturday. We have to be better. We have to be what we were doing against PSG. Looking at what we were doing before the struggles against Aston Villa and Man City, controlling the ball, moving it through. We can't just be spitfiring our passes. They have to be connecting. We have to make sure we're not turning over it in our own area as well. I know we want to carry out from the back sometimes, but sometimes maybe try to go the length, use what we have on the wings. So, but yeah, tomorrow I'll try to have an episode out later doing the post game. So tune into that. Then I'll be back Thursday for men's league, and that or not men's league. Catching up on the men's squad. Discussing still a little bit of let's discuss a little bit about the women's squad as well. And then Saturday will be my preview towards Everton because we play them on Monday. The way the schedule is set out. So yeah, it's going to be a busy week. If I don't do an episode tomorrow, I will be pushing it to Thursday, doing the post game with that as well. And I'll try to get it earlier on Thursday. So keep an eye. I'll try to keep you updated as best as I can. But let's get moving on to the men's squad. Okay. Yes. Prem is back this week, which means Manchester United players should be returning, or at least some of them should be returning. Potentially, I believe tomorrow they should be. Some could already be back just due to their services already being done. For example, Delo, Bruno, they just played on Sunday, so hopefully they're back at Carrington already. Delit played, I think it was yesterday, so he hopefully should be on his way back. Dorgu played today, so we're probably not going to see him tomorrow, probably Thursday. But the one thing too is they're getting the extra day. They're getting a little bit of rest because again, we don't play until Monday. They're playing Everton Monday, so that's in Monday. That's one of many Monday night games or weekday games that we're going to be facing, because we do play the Monday, then the Sunday, then the following Thursday and then the Monday and back on the weekend and going and going. And I think, the 8th, then I think we play on the 15th, which is the Monday, and then, so on and so forth. So, just games where there's the women's squad after tomorrow, 2 weeks off. That's not going to stop me from discussing things about the women's squad. But here we are. The men are back, and you can catch up as much as we can. Not much has, realistically, nothing has changed because nobody has been signed because there is no transfer window. What has changed is, now there's discussion on Semeneo. There's talking about Gomes from Wolves, as those are being potential targets. Just catching up on information that I see from the Manchester Evening News. Everyone told to make next level transfer. So Semeneo, who last season, it was between him, Cunha, and Embuemo were the top 3 targets that they were looking at. Well, they got 2 out of those 3. Could it be that they would potentially go for him on Monday? Or not on Monday, or in January's transfer window? That could potentially be happening. The reason why is because, the release clause is around £65 million, which is in the 70 million euros. So we can see how that goes. Listen, he is a young talent. He's 25. So he's got, how many goals would he have here? So 6 goals, 3 assists in 12 Prem games already. Bournemouth has been playing well, so I don't know if we're going to get him in January. And for all we know, we're going to be battling out with other clubs. The release clause is there. The question is, should we go for him and move him to wingback? That may improve our left side. Again, Dorgo is still young. Delot, we don't know where we're going to put him. But we definitely need to make we definitely need to make some changes. So, like I said, Liverpool, Tottenham have been expressing interest for him. So I did want him last year. It wasn't a lie. I was looking forward to him, especially with the talks with Cunha. But if you can get him to the wing or as a wing back, just like with Ahmad, then that helps out with the attack and the transition, moving the ball up and the attack. It doesn't hold up the play. That gives you a connection between you and the wing backs, or you and your center backs, so that helps. The one thing too is trying to save money for Manchester United as well. United's goal is to save on wages too, as well. So this is from ESPN. United plan to strengthen their midfield options in the summer transfer window is being shaped by the prospect of shaving £1 million £1 million a week off the club's wages and reinvesting the savings on players capable of adding youth, energy, and long-term value to the heart of Ruben Amorim's team. Casemiro, Harry Maguire, Jadon Sancho, and potentially Marcus Rashford will potentially have their contracts off the books. Rashford could potentially be sold to Barcelona this summer, depending on how his season goes. But they want to rebuild and use youth, which is fine. And like, as I said, what was it, last episode? Trying to get the academy back, build up talent. So ESPN continues to go on here and say, just give me one moment here, guys. Excuse me, guys. But yes, there's some targets that they mentioned here, youth ones. I know Baliba is there, but the price tag is too much. You have Adam Morton, 21, who potentially could be 60 million. Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart, who has been talked about, I think it's around 30 million. These are euros potentially to be there, so we'll see how that goes. We do still have money left to spend before June, apparently, so we'll see how that continues on. So right now, United again, we had Embuemo, Cunha, and Sesko in the summer, and Semi Lamens near the end of the transfer window. Obviously selling Alejandro Garnacho and other players to fund, and with Højlund, Rashford being potential sold with their loan deals, that does help as well. So they're slowly trying to get things going. And the talks with Bruno, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. I know he wants to win with the Prem or win the Prem with us. The question is, how can things look? So it is about saving money. Well, I shouldn't say saving money, but it's about controlling it. We can't overspend on our salaries like we have in the past, and overpriced or high transfer fees, low quality talent that we've experienced the last couple of years. So everything has to be managed correctly for this. So it's just going to take time. It is having them trying to organize, but having Semenyo as a discussion is key. So you can add him to the transfer list. In the end, until we don't see anything, Elliot Anderson's still there. Again, the price tag is £100 million. It's not my money, I know, in the end of the day, but at the same time too, it's not there. Let's just see. And then Rashford, Sancho deal below. Chelsea, we know about Sancho. And then, £44 million transfer battle. This is with João Gomes. So right now, they're looking to target him. He could potentially be there if they can get him. If they can somehow find a way to, and Conor Gallagher. Oh, actually, Conor Gallagher is up and down rumor. But if you can get João Gomes if you can get Angel Stiller, João Gomes, and Adam Wharton and Semenyo, if you can get those four, if you can get them for around 200 million, to say the least, then that helps. That rebuilds. We would still need a center back to replace Harry Maguire, which we can get potentially with depth that we have, or youth, because you'll have a Euro. We don't know the status of Shaw, but if Sandro Martinez and Shaw can be healthy in that, plus you have Mazraoui who can play in that back. So if you can have a back three of Euro, Maz, and De Ligt, that does help. And then obviously with Sandro Martinez and Luke Shaw, Aiden Heaven, so that can help too. So it's just a matter of just trying to get everything going. Antoine Semenyo sent transfer instruction. So if I was Semenyo, I would stay at Bournemouth. Yeah. So I don't think we'll see him at the end of January. I think he'll still be there next season for Bournemouth. But we will see. United are monitoring the Bournemouth star, and clubs can activate his release clause of $65 million in January. In the end, I think it's depending on where he wants to go. Yes, we are well aware of the release clause that just came out today. Whether that's true. If we can get Gomes, then if we can reduce that 44 million to like 40, then potentially that could be. I don't know if we're going to go for Baliba. I wouldn't go for him. He's not playing the best. The one thing too is, and I'll get to that in a moment, because obviously the one thing about the media is we never get anything accurate. So to step away from the transfers, like in the end, let me just round off the transfers, just to say the least here. João Gomes, Elliot Anderson, Stiller, Conor Gallagher, Semenyo. You're looking at those pieces. In the end, to be fair, if I were them, because Toby Collier should be back next summer. Casemiro will be gone. We will still have Mainoo. But if we can bring in for rotation like a Stiller and a João Gomes, get another center back, another striker is going to be needed. And as well as a midfield, like as well as a wing back. Like if we can get those 5 players and somehow get it managed to around 200 million. Let's say we try and get 5 players for around 200 million. Is that a bad thing? No. That's fine. But we have to manage it correctly. Like we have to get Semeneo exactly for 65 million. If we can get Gomes, like Wolves to go down on Gomes for 4 or 5, maybe 39, 40 million. Stiller you can try and get for around 30. Should you try for Wharton? Because I know he'll be another 60, but so Wharton, Stiller, Gomes, Semeneo, that's your 4. Get a left and get a center back. That's 5 players right there. Or you don't go for a third midfielder, you go for another striker for depth. Unless they believe Cheeto Obi is ready to go for next summer. We'll have to wait and see. And everything depends on the World Cup too, because that's big as well. So right now, and Mason Mount could get sold. Like there's a lot of things, but to round up again, yeah, like at least 4 to 5 players. If you can get it under $200 million, 200 million pounds, that would be key, just to say the least. But okay. To next on, we can talk about Joshua Zirkzee, Sesko. Obviously, this news about Sesko, we found out the news has been kind of up and down on how long he's going to be taking to recover, because it's hard to say how it's going to go, because from what I've heard, I read up to a month, including the time that he is, or I'm hearing another couple more weeks or a month, including starting today, or it's not really clear on how everything is working out for this injury. But the question is now is what's going to happen with Zirkzee? Will Zirkzee be starting? Because I think you have to give Zirkzee an opportunity during this time, because when Mount can't be trusted for injury, as much as he's going to have time off, the health has to be there, so he has to come off the bench. Bruno, like the one thing too is, because a lot of questions are going to be answered. Does Bruno still start at the 8 and you give Zirkzee the opportunity, or you're benching Zirkzee, moving Bruno to the 10 and giving Kobe Mainoo the opportunity to be in that position? So this is the unique situation that could be going on in the next couple of weeks, and especially during what's it called, AFCON, because Mbuemo, Mazraoui, and Ahmad are going to be gone. So during that time, you're going to hopefully see Zirkzee start, or Zirkzee start, or Bruno to the 10 and Mainoo getting some time as well. Because let me pull up the January transfer window, or not the January transfer window. Come on, mouse, work with me, please. So, because I know they're still working on trying to get everything going. So, okay. So AFCON is starting. Yeah, AFCON is starting, I think, the 15th, and it goes into the 18th. So we'll have our players for Everton, Palace, West Ham, and hopefully Wolves. Like those are the next 4 games where we're going to have the whole squad. Well, except for Sesko, because he'll be injured, recovering. Hopefully he should be back early to mid-December, potentially. Because he'll take his time to try and get himself back. Because again, you don't want to risk the knee injury. So with him gone, like Zirkzee and Mainoo should see increased time because of positions. But that's the question, though. Do we go Zirkzee, Cunha, and Mbuemo, Bruno in the middle? Do we go Cunha, Bruno, and Mbuemo, Zirkzee on the bench, Mainoo at 8? But at AFCON too, we're going to lose a player, so as well. So you should hopefully from now until January 18th that Mainoo and Zirkzee's minutes should start to increase. Because again, it's important for depth. Like, I don't want to lose players, but we need them for depth. And I understand it's a World Cup. Like, club comes like at the end of the day. Like, I understand playing for the World Cup. Don't get me wrong. But it would be great to have everyone there for health and depth because you don't know. Like, I understand. Like, I understand they want to play and they want to get to the World Cup, but it's. Yeah, listen, we can talk all day about Champions League and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to go into a rant about last year. It's last year. It's done with. We lost. But having them there is important because they're trying to focus on the club and try and get things right. And if they go, those players, we have to replace them with other players. That's the one thing that's they don't realize, that we're going to have to replace them. So we'll see. I know their agenda is the World Cup. I understand. But at the same time, too, if you can do some great things with your club and just win something and be a part of that, that's fantastic as well. Because for all you know, having you help your team win a trophy or two might get you into, like, maybe we win the FA Cup this season. Maybe we win the Prem. I'm not saying that we are, but what if? Imagine going out on loan and seeing that happen by your replacements. Imagine being there, and that gets you to your World Cup by holding that up too. So it's hard to say. I understand, but at the same time too, from now until January, the opportunities will be there for minutes, and Amram should be there to help them with that, and they should be ready to go too. So it's just a matter of So there's one cookie jar, and everyone wants a cookie, and there's a cookie jar, but too many people want inside it, and you can't feed them all. And that's the thing. And I think I mentioned this 1 or 2 episodes ago. It's just, we have we have great depth, but when certain situations come up in the game, whether it's minutes, injury, a card, we have to be patient and reliant on it. And he sees something that we don't, but listen, from what we've seen here, when we did the Brighton game, people complained about the subs because we brought on too many at one time. We go to Nottingham Forest, he doesn't do enough subs. We go to Tottenham, too many subs. So, and we're the question in those subs too. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today. Just end it. Yeah. Just ripping off the Band-Aid, finishing it off today. No, I will be back. I'm going to try to be back tomorrow or today, especially with the post game against Wolfsburg. If I am not back tomorrow, episode is going to be there Thursday, recapping the game as well as discussing Man United. Recapping the game and discussing all things Man United, player ratings as well, catching up on the men's squad, and then Saturday, the preview for Everton as well. So I will try to get that out too. But yes, I hope everyone enjoys the game tomorrow. I'm really hoping that they continue on their streak in Champions League, just get a win before the break and then come back refreshed, ready to go. the one thing too, coming back healthy and being healthy, going into this game healthy. I know we're not going to have everyone, but we'll hopefully have everyone back, hopefully after the break. You can talk transfers until the cows come home. Nothing's going to be official until January, but right now, Everton going forward, we should be seeing Mainoo and Zirkzee's minutes increase. Definitely for Zirkzee, excuse me there. But yeah, yes, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy the game on Wednesday. I'll talk to you guys hopefully after the game later on as well. So don't forget to hit like, subscribe, follow, whether on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, and social media, Instagram, TikTok, and X as well. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.